How you doing? Is the food any good? Okay. So I'm going to start with my haiku on Bush's second term. And a haiku is a bit like a quickie. You have to pay attention or you'll miss it. Ready? If the motherfucker beside you is talking, just be like, shh. See, it takes a fucking community. Look at that. I ask for help and it gets dead quiet. Not sexy. Haiku on Bush's second term. How can you fuck up so many times and still be voted president? I got this big screen in front of me that tells me, like I'm looking at myself, which is, who the hell wants to look at themselves while they're like, oh my God, my angle is fucked up. So I think one of the most radical things a girl can do is to own her body. And we learn so young not to own these bodies of ours. And so I'm going to start with a little excerpt from my memoir. It's called The Other Side of Paradise. I'm 10 years old. Ready? My cousin's 7th grade biology book says it's supposed to be hemoglobin red. I peer down at the weird fluid sitting smack in the center of my pink panties and wonder if that brown stain, shaped like an egg, is hemoglobin red. The glossary in the back of the book defines hemoglobin as the iron-containing respiratory pigment in red blood cells of vertebrates, consisting of about 6% hema and 94% globin. I tossed the book behind the toilet and examined the egg-shaped culprit again. I know exactly what is happening to me. I am having the period. Every girl between the ages of 10 and 13 should get it. The book says if you don't get it, you might be a hermaphrodite. That is, someone whose vagina has its very own penis. The book says the proper name for my cocoa bread is vagina. I don't know if I like the word vagina. Vagina sounds like it's the name of a disease that Jezebel women get. I studied the book, reading and rereading everything about the peculiarities of the period. There are supposed to be adult urges and dull pains commonly known as cramps, and a flow of menses, recognizable as life force by its hemoglobin red hue. I want to talk to my auntie, but I'm afraid she would box me in my mouth for asking her anything about my vagina. But I know I have to ask her about the sanitary napkins. I pull up my shorts and walk careful to the veranda. I revel in the thick wetness squishing beneath me. I stand by the door, watching my auntie turn the pages of her big black Bible. She licks her finger and turns another page. Why you standing there watching me like you're a policeman? What you want? Nothing, auntie. Well, yes, I mean something, I think, Stacy, I don't have all day to listen to your hem and haw. Say what you're saying and stop talking like you're a bloody handicap. I take a breath and blurt out, Auntie, I think I just started menstruating and I don't have any of the sanitary pad things to put on. She sighs and looks out at the banana trees. When she doesn't say anything, I follow her gaze to the young fruits hugging themselves into a bunch. Auntie, what are you going to do about the pads? Well, Stacy, to tell you the truth, those kinds of things a young lady should buy for herself. But because it happened upon you suddenly, I will buy them. Okay, Auntie, thank you very much for buying them this time. After she gives me the money, I fold the notes and head out to the shop. As I step over the rocks, I try hard not to think about the uncertain red spreading over my favorite panties. She wants me to buy Stay Free, but I know those Stay Free maxi pads. They smell like dead flowers. And I know that people will smell that dead flowers smell on me and know exactly what is happening to my vagina. And the pads that are in the bio book are very different from the ones in the bag. The Stay Free pads don't have anything that you should tie around your waist. At home, I dash into the bathroom and lock the door behind me. I rip open the plastic packaging. The flowery scent makes me gag. I hold my breath and examine the pink and white strip. There's a picture of a hand tearing off the strip. The picture shows the pad always lying lengthwise along the crotch of the panties. So I quickly peel off the adhesive and pull up my panties. I check to make sure everything is secure. I am no longer worried the pad will fall out of my shorts. They put a lot of glue on that pad so it could really stick to the vagina. The book said there may be some pain, but this sharp pulling beneath me is unbearable. I can hardly move from the pinching of my newly sprouting pubic hairs pasted to the sanitary napkin. Only 2 hours, I tell myself. Only 2 hours and then I can change it. I carefully make my way to the back of the house, but the pulling is too intense. I have to stop. I park myself on the steps. Every shift of weight is agony. An hour later, I know something must be wrong. So I limp back to the bathroom, taking the bag of napkins with me. This time, I read the instructions. Then, I take a deep breath and yank the used pad from my vagina. It hurts so much everything goes black. For a few moments, I am unable to make a sound. When my vision clears, there are more hairs on the pad than on my vagina. I know. Hug the poor boys behind you. All this vagina blood talk is killing them. They're like, oh my God, I don't need to know about that shit. It's crazy, man. You people are just, bleeding and you're not dying. That's called strength, motherfuckers. Have you ever seen a man get cut? He'd be like, oh my God, all that blood. Like, shut up. I had 4 times that come out of me on 1 tampon. Shut up. I know, hug a boy, hug a boy, hug a boy. Very tense. These poor frail boys. Okay, this is more pussy talk. So as I said, the most radical thing a woman can do is love her vajayjay. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the penis has like the right to stand up for itself all the time. You know what I mean? It's always like rolling around like, The vagina is like a black man in America, just bad rap. Can't win for losing, you know what I mean? It's like fucked up all the time. The penis can it can stand up. I mean, it can spit on people. The more it spits on people, the more people are like, yeah, go penis. The vagina, if it gets a little damp, people are like, ew, why your vagina so wet? It's so wet and nasty. Ew, your vagina so wet. Ew. If it gets a little dry, people are like, what's wrong with you? Your vagina so dry. What's so dry? It's so dry. So, of course, my grandmother, as a kid, she'd be like, don't let anybody touch your vagina, ever. It's kind of harsh. Ever? So, and then I became a lesbian and I had like 2 vajayjays to navigate. I'm like, shit. I have my own vagina issues here going on, like here, So I had to write a poem about my vajayjay. always been the center of things beautiful for me. Becoming woman has always been the center of my girlhood. The sum of my thighs, my ankles, even my shoulders were always girl. And when I bled for the first time, I told my best friend, wrapped my secret in her hair, assured her that this blood meant that we could make babies. But being a girl in Jamaica in 1980 also meant I had to run faster than my cousin's fingers, farther than his sweaty palms reaching for my hands. My tiny breasts had to be brave against his fury if I refused. One night, I stabbed him, pencil point sliding swift into his flesh. The whole house cried out, and I was so proud of my yellow pencil, point sharp and without fear. My aunt beat me anyways for making your cousin bleed, she said. And I cried more out of loneliness than anything. The other cousin's name still remains quiet upon my tongue. I only think of him when I'm sad or angry or afraid of things that do not make noises in the dark. Stark raving mad, he showed me his dick, told me, "You smell like a woman in that little girl's body." Hips barely budding, he cornered me in the hallway, in the bathroom. And when I bled, I washed quick and quiet. Years later, he still smiles at me. Even now, no apologies are necessary. I was only a girl. No details are ever necessary about what happened to our dress. Quick and quiet, girls learn to wash those details away, bury them under briefs and jeans and cargo pants. Under these panties rests the story of our chochas or twats or bushes that bleed on time. Once a month, I am reminded that though I have not yet given birth, I can. My pussy can do something no dick or tomcat can. I dare you to make people without a vagina. Krishna or man or beast. Even Jesus had to pass through a punani. Angels and messengers aside, Mary had to lend passage to God, or them Christians might still be Jews waiting for a Christ that was stuck up the ass of some man who thought he could do what little girls do every day against our wishes. We carry these common stories of fathers and cousins and strangers who violate the sanctity of these bodies, this ability to make breath. One day, I hope this belly will bloom little miracles called Andrea or Elisha or Alexander. Male mouths will open wide in wonder and terror at the magic of what vaginas do. Every day, women carry people into being. Every day, I am glad I was born. Bloody snatch in just the right place today. I am so glad I am a girl. Today, I am so glad I am a girl because yesterday, my mother told me to write my story. No matter that I will write her in unflattering truths. Right, she told me, and I hope the book sells so you can afford to raise that daughter with a heart just like yours. And everything was better between me and my mother. It didn't matter that she left me twice. No matter that in Jamaica in 1972, she had to choose her safety over mine. Yesterday she said, "Right, my daughter," and the world righted itself. And I wish every mother whose daughter survived the burial of these unspoken things would give her permission to say what happened, to write down how she survived the terror of being that small girl in a world that so deeply favors men. I wish every cunt had the courage to bear public witness. I wish every woman had the pen, the clear view, and the support she needs to scream, "What happened to me was not my fault. What happened to me was not my fault. What happened to me was not my fault." Go